Good Wednesday afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We have some very exciting model guidance to go over, and I'm very excited to make this video today. We've had some interesting changes overnight. By interesting, I think that'll make a lot of people happy. Some of these changes um, are actually what I would say are trends now in the right direction for us winter weather fans. So we're going to get into it here. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know down in the comments what you would like to see when it comes to the weather. Some people, I'm sure, are tired of snow, and others, like me, can't wait to see some. So let's get right into it. We're not going to start here. I just left this running for the intro. We'll get back to this towards the end of the video. We're going to start off um, just right with the Euro here. I'm going to start off by showing you the 6Z, or the 0Z, sorry. We don't have access to the 6Z on this site. So let's click through these frames here. One thing of note that's also uptrended a little bit is this area of enhanced snowfall along the southern Appalachians here. Could very well be possible. So we'll see. That's uptrended. It has been a little bit drier in this time frame. This is getting into the early morning hours Saturday. So it's very possible that we get some snow in here with some cold air starting to enter the picture. But we continue to click this through here. This right here is Sunday at 12Z. This is a different scenario than we have been seeing in the last few model runs. Our first time frame on like Thursday and Friday is a miss. It really is for the South. This is different. This is getting into Sunday morning. We've been talking about the secondary time frame a long time. Axis of the trough is back here, so anything out ahead of it is fair game when it comes to storm systems, and here we are. Enough moisture is catching up here, and it's running into some cold air that we have not necessarily a snowstorm, but there's snow breaking out here. I can't show you the 6Z, unfortunately, but it was a fantasy run. And what I mean by that is that in these regions, there were 4 to 6 inches of snow on average in here. It did exactly what it's doing here, just a little bit more moisture and a little bit colder. That's all I want you to visualize here. Good chances are, if you're into the weather at all, you've probably seen screenshots of it now. It's only been out a few hours, but it made a lot of people happy. I was watching Mitch from Mitch West Weather. I was watching his video this morning, and he was so happy when he saw that run. And I was so happy to see that, some enthusiasm back. I know he wants it. He lives in Columbia. I live up here. So it's further away from me, but still, this is a trend in the right direction. Because if you remember yesterday, this storm system in the secondary it's too progressive. It didn't catch up with the cold air, or rather, the cold air didn't catch up with it actually. So we just got some rain or just nothing. But this is different. So we have that. I'm not going to go any further than that. We're going to look at the latest here to go longer, further out here. So again, Thursday, systems a miss across the southeast. We'll move out in sector first, but I'm just excited to show you this down here. Get into Saturday. There's that snow showing up, although it's a little warmer, this scenario here. This is the 12Z Euro. Early morning hours on Saturday, and there's more of a wintry mix as opposed to just snow. But there could be bursts of heavy snow along the southern Appalachians, just east of Chattanooga. And we move this through here. This is Sunday. It's actually late Saturday, getting into Sunday. This is still better. I can't even show you the 6Z, which is a shame. We skipped a run here, and we're still trending in the right direction. Remember yesterday, if you watched the video, go back and watch it and see what I was talking about there. But we had nothing. All this rain was out here and areas east, and there was not even a chance. Now we have a lot of moisture bubbling up here and getting inland. That's the big thing. It's getting inland. It's not just out over the ocean. So it's getting over areas people actually live and they can see snowfall. So we're starting to see some a very heavy wintry mix along the Georgia coastline, Savannah, Beaufort area. Near Charleston here, just a heavy wintry mix and some heavy snow, depending on exactly where you are. And then a wintry mix, snow and rain, all getting into the western half of South Carolina and the southeast areas of North Carolina. So this is still a trend inland. If what I just showed you, the areas it included were more like that. But look at this now. It's just grown. It's further inland. That's a trend in the right direction. It's a downtrend from last run, but last run was an outlier, even though it looked pretty. So keep that in mind when I say that. And let's continue this on. And yeah, so it gets out of here, out of the southeast sector here that we're looking at by the early morning hours on Monday. So it's gone after that. So waste no time here. Let's look at the 12Z GFS. Some northwest flow snows getting going in the southern Appalachians could overperform. Talking about that yesterday. First time frame on Thursday is a miss. Nothing at all. And then we see right there, that's that kind of, we don't have like 3 time frames to watch. That's the kind of like 1.5 time frame, if you will, between our main time frames here. And we have heavy snow along the Tennessee-North Carolina border, all the way down into northern Georgia. And that could overperform as well. It's just a very small area of heavy snow. And what do we get here? Okay, interesting look. This is Sunday, late afternoon, Saturday, and we have some snow showers. Let's see where this goes. I'm excited. Boom. There we go. Here's another fantasy run here. Makes me happy. I mean, this is under 100 hours. That is crazy to see that we're getting something like this under 100 hours. This is Sunday morning. This is at like 7 a.m. Eastern time Sunday. And we have this area of, it's not, most of it is heavy. I mean, it's not even that real light stuff. We have extremely heavy snow down here in southern Alabama along the Alabama-Florida line. But regardless of that, I mean, look there's not even much wintry mix in here. It's just snowing or it's raining, it's a brutal line. But either way, look at this run here. This is incredible. I mean, it continues here. It gets all the way down into Columbia where Mitch lives. I'm sure he's happy to see this. Low pops off, and we'll look at what it did for areas further north here in a second, and then moves on out. That is a very impressive run. That's a crazy trend from yesterday evening. I mean, I made these videos less than 24 hours ago, and we weren't seeing any of this. We weren't even seeing a chance of this. Let's go back a run and see what it was. See what it gave us. Okay, so still here, but hit a little bit later, and its axis was more to the west. It was more over like Florence, South Carolina, for example. All the coastal areas got it. Outer Banks, North Carolina got it. Even some light snow all the way up to the upstate South Carolina and western North Carolina regions, but it was all light. And moves on out. Let's look back one more run to the 0Z. I believe this is when we started to see some of these trends in the right direction here. I may be wrong. Let's see. Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so it was an in-between. This was like the transition run here. Because we looked at the 18Z GFS yesterday, it did not show this. So 6 hours later, little did we know we would see this start to show up. So this is just here. Here's how I'm going to put this. This run right here, these frames, this is Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. Notice there's snow, right? And that's not bad. Notice the difference between that right there and then let's get this all within frame, and then this right here. Notice how much further north and west the axis of snow is. And it's not like our coastal areas completely miss out here. Areas like Myrtle Beach do, but they're very, very, very close. We have, I mean, this is 100 hours, 105 hours. So we have time to change things. It's not like it's right around the corner, but it's under 100 hours. The forecast like confidence here is much different. This is not 300 hours out. This is close. This is this weekend here, and it's already Wednesday. But what a trend in the right direction here. That's incredible. Love to see that. So let's go ahead. I didn't do this for the Euro, and I apologize. I'll go back to it. Let's look at what this thing did um, for everybody else. So um, let's back it up to Thursday. Northwest flow snows in the southern Appalachians, all of the Appalachians actually. Then we have an area here along the Appalachians areas, a little bit to the west of the Appalachians as well, into Tennessee, Kentucky, the Virginias, and Ohio, um, all the way up into Pennsylvania maybe, with some snow squalls possibly flying around, heavy snow. Then we have this um, absolutely beautiful signal for snow down here. Low pops off, and then this just turns into a crazy fantasy run for the I-95. I mean, look at this thing. Pops off just out over the North Carolina waters here. Heavy snow thrown back along the coastal areas of all the states along the eastern seaboard. Every single one of them gets something. And it just slams right into New England here as a 969 low. In fact, this is 117 hours out. I'm going to look up here because this is something, if this happens, we're going to have to cover this. This will be high impact. So 117 hours. Look at this thing. Look at how heavy that snow is being modeled right there. That's literally the top of the key down here. It doesn't go further than that. This is inches per hour. So if we look at the actual scale, it goes a little bit past half an inch per hour of snow. That's incredible. That's really heavy. This is wet snow too. Rolls up into Maine and then onwards to the north. I mean, look at this thing. The wind, this would be a blizzard. This is a nor'easter. That's what this thing is right here. Man, what a change. We look back here at the entire U.S. Do that, rolls up, gets out of our way here, and then what else do we have? Some moisture in the deep south, doesn't really do anything. Clipper action in the northeast. Could be some sort of severe weather thing, a little past 10 days. It's possible. What else do we have? Not really anything. Except right at the end of the run, we have this low down in the Gulf, but our cold air is way off to the north. Not even a chance with that. So we have interesting time frame right out ahead of us. Let's look at some other model guidance. The reason I'm showing you this is the Canadian. The reason I'm going to show you this is to be realistic. There's that possibility for some snow, even in the counties I live in, actually, to watch that. It's a Saturday morning. And you notice how we just passed our time frame and we didn't see anything? This is realistic. I hate to be this person, but this can happen. We have cold air, we have our trough digging down to the south very aggressively, but we have some rain here, but it's too warm. It's overall not a snow thing, it's just a rain thing. It's very close, but it's too late. And this could absolutely happen. I don't know what this thing is down here. I haven't seen this yet. This is Wednesday of next week, about a week out. We have some ice flying around the areas of the southeast, so I'll have to watch that too. But this is just so possible, guys. I hate to say this, but this moisture out here over the Atlantic may not catch up. We've had an incredible trend in the right direction, but that does not mean that that's what's going to happen. This is 102 hours out, and we're still having model guidance that says this. The UK Met also, I don't have it pulled up, but it also shows this. It's too warm. Although, one thing that tells me the Canadian here isn't quite right is the amount of moisture is way off. I'm going to back this up to about where our time frame is. If you compare this to the GFS and Euro, regardless of, let's say this was all like black and white, so you couldn't even see what stuff was. The amount of moisture there is here is not the same. It's a lot less on the Canadian, and we just haven't seen that trend. We've seen the opposite trend on the other more reliable model guidance. It might be right. I would hate if it was, but it absolutely could be. So keep this in mind. Do not get set if you live in central areas of South Carolina, because all the scenarios kind of hit you from the GFS and Euro. Don't sit there and say, okay, we're good to bring out the sleds, right? Don't say that. We're not quite there yet, because this could happen where it's just a cold rain or nothing at all and it's sunny outside. That would really suck. to put it lightly, but still it's possible. That's why I had that pulled up. Oh, I did have the UK Met pulled up. Yeah, so let's look at it. See right here. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Believe it or not, the UK Met does show snow if it's there. This is Sunday morning. It's the same time frame. We have a lot of moisture, a lot of energy out here over the Atlantic, and then a lot of mixing of energy here in the same areas that the GFS and Euro show it, but it's too warm. The cold air is just a little behind. That right there, I would struggle to believe that areas like in here, for example, weren't snowing at least some. Just because I'm sure there's some cold air around, but if it is, it's not sticking, but it's very wet snow. Goodness. So that's possible. This is a likely scenario, unfortunately, where we have a lot of moisture, but the cold air is not there. However, the cold air is something we've been more confident in. So it's an interesting thing we have here. We have a trend on two models of way more moisture. That's what really happened here. The cold air hasn't gone anywhere on the GFS and Euro. The moisture is what changed. And then we have models like the UK Met and the Canadian that, I mean, the Canadians, who knows what's going on? Let's just use the UK Met. It puts more moisture like everything else because the UK Met's very similar to the Euro. Puts more moisture like I say it should because that's what's been the trend, but the cold air is suddenly not here. Let's go back 2 runs and just see what it did. I'm curious. So if this snowstorm happens, we have to tip our caps to the UK Met because it was doing this the entire time. A lot of extra moisture hanging out. This looks exactly like the GFS run we were looking at. A lot of moisture down here across areas of Georgia, Florida, and the Carolinas, and the cold air is a little behind. So we get some wintry mix and some snow on the backside of it, but nothing crazy. So the UK Met may be onto something here, but I would just much prefer the GFS to happen. The only reason I'm not hating on the GFS in this video, you may remember last video I was kind of slandering the GFS a little bit, is because the GFS only seems to do things like it was showing in the long range, but that's under 100 hours out. That's a whole different thing here. So what we're going to look at here, I already have it pulled up. This is the snowfall totals through the next week exactly from this morning. I don't even know what to say about some of these snow totals. Let's get everything in frame here. I don't even know where I should start. It snowed nearly 6 inches in areas of Louisiana, all the way up the coast. Almost everywhere is good for snow on this. I mean, this is a ridiculous signal. I don't even know really what to say about this. There's 6 inches of snow being modeled here off the GFS within 15 miles of my location. And that's insane to see. Columbia is good for 3 to 5 inches. I mean, that's also crazy. We have 6 inches being modeled down here in central Georgia. Atlanta even gets in on this. But you're close to it not. I mean, you're close, but you're there. Charlotte's good for 3 to 6 inches. This is not a forecast. I need to reiterate that more often. I'll get better at that as time goes on. Do not look at this graphic right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can just really feast your eyes on it. Do not take this graphic right here and then go share it with your family members and say, hey, look, this guy on YouTube said that we live in the Greenville-Spartanburg area and we're going to get 6 inches of snow. I did not say that. This is one model run. We've been trending towards this. This is one run, though. This is not the National Weather Service. The professionals didn't say this. I didn't say this either. So in Mitch's words, don't go tell everyone and their brother's uncle's dog that it's about to snow this much across the Southeast. This is a fantasy run. This is crazy. Some of these areas haven't seen this much snow in a very, very long time, including us up here. This much snow has not been seen in a very long time. I don't know if it would set records necessarily, but it's been a while. I've been alive 16 years. This has not happened in my lifetime. And this is interesting to see. The 18Z Euro may completely throw this out the window. I hope it doesn't, but it might. And we need to be prepared for that, at least mentally, because I'm all hyping this up here, and we may trend right away from it. It's possible. So, like I said, do not go tell everyone, do not screenshot this off your phone or take a picture of your TV, whatever you're watching this on. Don't do that and then go post it everywhere and say, hey, look at this. This guy on YouTube said this. This is not a forecast. This is not what the professionals say. We're not even really within range of that yet. We'll look at those graphics when we get closer, but overall, what I want you to get from this is that we have really uptrended our moisture in this cold air, because this is what kind of energy merging we were waiting for before. We've had cold air, we have our trough like this, and inside the yellow that I'm drawing here is cold air. But it's pink that I'm about to draw. Our moisture is all like out here, no man's land. It's too far away. But the trough has not gone anywhere. The trough has stayed here, very similar to what it is right now. And I need to get this stuff off the screen here. But this is quite an incredible look. Let's just switch to the euro for this. This is the 12Z euro. Let's go a week, just like we were. Entirely different in a way. We still have snow. Look at this is Florida and Georgia here, and areas of like Savannah, Beaufort, South Carolina that could get a decent southeast snowstorm out of this. But like Columbia and central areas don't get much of anything. The coastal areas up here don't get much of anything. The Outer Banks get minimal amounts. But this is the euro, and I like to use the euro. I think the euro is an accurate model. So I'm going to use it. This kind of scenario right here and this snowfall graphic looks very realistic to me with this. The placement of this stuff down here in the deep south, very deep south, Gulf coastline for what it's worth, of 2 to 5 inches of snow, 2, 3, probably local areas of more in here, could be anywhere else. That could be up here along the South Carolina coast. That could be up here over where I live, central South Carolina. It could not exist. But overall, this is the kind of look I'm expecting to happen. That doesn't mean if you live in South Georgia that you should be sitting here expecting 3 inches of snow. That's not what I mean by that. But let's say we look at the last euro. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. We can see these changes here, where in general our snowfall totals are the same, but they're not down here. They're more up to the north along the coast. But still, let's say Charlotte, Greenville, Atlanta area, and Columbia inside this circle I just drew almost completely miss out. It's possible. I live here. Trust me, I'm not rooting for this to happen. But this is a realistic look. This doesn't scream crazy like the GFS run did. So keep that in mind. That's all I'm going to say. I already looked at that. So what we're going to do with the euro here, since I didn't before, is pull it back out to the national sector here and just kind of get an idea of where this storm goes afterwards. First time frame's a miss, like we've been talking about. And then it's close, but kind of a miss for areas of the south, but it's an absolute jackpot for others. And where does that low go? So the GFS, for example, it put the low like up here. So the track of it went like that. The Euro's track is like this. And it went away. I can't really make that stop. Either way, the GFS is a little bit closer to shore and the Euro is a little bit further offshore. Still some little kinks to figure out with this, but the low is there and then moves out of the picture. What else do we have? This is a very, very large winter storm to track here. This is exactly 10 days out from this morning, and we have a low out here over the Great Lakes region and a lot of snow to the north, a wintry mix out ahead of it, and then just rain everywhere else. So we have like 3 regions to this storm here. That's 10 days out, starting to get into an unreliable time frame. Massive winter storm goes off through the northeast, drops a lot of snow up there. And then we have this thing. The Euro's been hinting at this for a little while, but the placement's been all over the place about this like cold air damming, this CAD storm here. Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays from now, not today, not next week, the Wednesday after, and this is possible, but this is again unreliable time frame here and another massive storm in general. What I want you to gain from this run of the Euro right here that we just looked at, if I just grab the slider and we just pull it back, and I just go at a reasonable speed here, look at how much stuff is going on, just in general. How many different things there are to track that can move anywhere. The things that drive these storms are massive forces that also trend and do crazy things overnight. The weather is unpredictable. So this is, whether this storm up here is here or it's right over the Carolinas and Virginia and we're getting this massive winter storm out 16 days from now, it's very possible this is over here, and it's very possible it doesn't exist. So keep in mind we may have a active pattern. So what I want to do here, right for the end of this, is look at our temperatures. So I'm going to start this off tomorrow. This is the Euro ensemble. So if you didn't gain anything else from this video over the past 20-ish minutes, 25 minutes, what I want you to gain is most models have trended to have more moisture in the secondary time frame, which is Sunday morning. I mean, almost all of them agree on that. Sunday morning, we've trended to have more moisture, but some models are a little bit warm. So let's look at the Euro ensemble. I trust in this a lot for stuff like temperatures here. This is only that we're gonna have to change runs. This is the 6Z. We have all of it. So what we're gonna do here, this is starting out tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. Where you see the colors change from green to blue is the freezing line. That's anywhere in blue is at or below freezing. So a cold day, Thursday, does not really it barely gets above freezing, let's say in northern South Carolina. It's a cold day tomorrow. Friday is pretty warm, gets into the 40s and 50s. But where's our time frame here? This is Saturday. This is late Saturday. So for that snow possibility we've been looking at, that kind of 1.5 time frame, if you will, that's down here, could be falling in some pretty cold temperatures. So temperatures for that event are looking good so far. And let's see, what else? Let's get into Sunday. This is Sunday morning. This is ensemble guidance. This makes up 51 members of the Euro, which is our most reliable, and then you put them all together and get an average of it all. This is like the most reliable thing you can look at. And you can't use the like southeast sectors and mid-Atlantic sectors on this site, at least for the Euro ensemble, but you can still see where that freezing line is. This right here is our time frame. So for the morning, let's say our snow is falling at 7 a.m. Sunday, which we were talking about. Areas up here, it would be snowing. In that tiny little circle right there, it would be wet snow. And then it would be rain. Just too warm. So, well, let's undo that. We have snow, snow and maybe a mix, and then rain. So, what I want you to gain from this is that our ensemble guidance here is indicating Sunday morning could be cold enough, even if it warms up after, because it does. This is the Euro ensemble for 1 p.m. Eastern time. And what we have down here, if we look at our key, I was going to look at the bottom for some reason. You see our freezing line here? It's below 40, but it's like 37 to 39 degrees. That's not going to get the job done for snow. That's a mix to just a very cold rain. So we have time to trend this different. This is ensemble guidance. It's a perfect middle ground between being really, really cold and way too warm. This is locationally dependent. Some of these areas, let's say like up here, obviously the areas in blue are freezing, but out ahead of that, where there could be moisture, this would just be heavy wet snow possibly in that circle there. The temperatures required for snow is a very specific range that you go from snow to wet snow to just a cold rain very quickly. I mean, a few degrees. That's why um I tell people all the time, get a weather station, put it outside. I don't even mind. I don't care if you put it like under a tree, so it's not the perfect. If you don't have a perfect place, that's okay. Temperatures won't be greatly affected by that, but put a weather station out there somewhere. This is why it matters so much. Um, 34 degrees and there's precipitation falling. It's likely really heavy, wet snow. It's 36. It's probably rain. And that's a 2 degree difference, and that means a fun day and this is just a cold rain. You can't do anything with this type of day. So it matters. Get a weather station, and you can figure it out for yourself. Getting into Sunday evening, temperatures start to drop pretty quick. So if there's any lingering moisture, it could turn to snow again. And let's change this out to the 0Z and just pick up where we were. So this is the only full run we have. Let's continue this on. And you can see that freezing line. It stays north. We're having a warm-up. I'm confident in that. Even though that warm-up is not like crazy, our nights down here in the deep south will not drop below freezing for a week or so probably after we get past this time frame. And that's the end of it. So we'll go back to this. So what I want to show you, this is the Euro Ensemble as well. Let's start looking at our time. This is Saturday, Sunday. You see our trough. This has been modeled so well off the Euro Ensemble. I tip my cap to it, right? Trough out here. Absurdly strong ridge. Out west over Alaska, the western areas of the U.S., and then some blocking up here with a ridge. Favorable pattern. That's why we're seeing that. This is exactly why we're starting to see these runs. Is our precipitation has caught up. Finally, it's about time, isn't it? We start to click through these. And let's see where we go. That trough stays around through Wednesday-ish of next week. So we have about a week. Trough or the ridge out west stays around. Then we have a ridge signal start to intensify across the eastern U.S., southeast U.S., and mid-Atlantic are kind of targeted by this, getting out to 10 days or so, troughing up north still. And right at the end of the run, we start to enter this favorable looking time frame again, where we have troughing and then some ridging out west, and then definitely ridging up over Alaska here. But this, whatever this thing is out here, isn't great, because what that does, it sends our flow right over the Pacific. It would be warmer air, but the pattern overall is favorable. We have high latitude blocking, troughing over Canada and our cold air source, and some ridging out west. So this is out in no man's land, 360 hours away. We'll get to this time frame when we get to it. This is valid at just late in the afternoon on Wednesday the 28th. Out there somewhere. So don't worry too much about this. And if you live, say, like in Louisiana and Arkansas, and you're like, I want snow, or Texas, you've been ripped off for snow. Let's say you live in Texas, you want snow, and we're seeing this ridge signal. Don't worry about it. We can trend away from it. We can continue to see it, but I think you're going to have your chances. Winter's not over yet, so don't worry about it too much. But that's all I have. I'm going to put this back on a loop here. Hopefully, if you live down here in areas of the Southeast, that made you happy. It made me very happy to see this morning. I had to make a video about it. It's 2:10. I'm done with school now, and we have model guidance to look at that looks like this. So we have some really incredible trends in the right direction, and I hope we continue to see them. It's very possible I'll be able to get a video out tomorrow morning or afternoon at some point. We can go over the latest, and we will, because I'm sure we'll see changes. We may completely lose what we were just seeing. I hope we don't, but it's possible. But um, hopefully we see what we want, and Lord willing, we'll see some snow down here in the southeast. So thank y'all for tuning in. Like if you like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in tomorrow's video, probably in the afternoon or so. I'll see y'all then.